On today's Outside the Box review, we are taking a look at the NECA Predator Series 4 Shaman Predator. This is the first time I can think of in NECA's Predator wave that they've changed the standard acceptable name for a Predator, which is weirding me out a little bit. But this one, for most things I've seen online, and correct me if I'm wrong because I could very well be, I've heard this guy referred to as Hippie, and this is the first instance I can think of NECA changing the name. I then went on to look at what NECA is calling future releases, and we're going to get into this towards the end of the review, but I got some interesting ones for you. The first thing you're going to notice about Shaman Predator here is his accessory, his really nicely done staff. I was hoping to be able to take that out of his hand to show you, but it's stuck. According to NECA, this thing should just slide in and out of its hand. There's actually a joint down here you could take off and slide it. Mine's gotten really warped in trying to get it into his hand. His hand was too small, and I tried drilling it out, and it fit in, but now it won't come back out, which really kind of stinks. I wouldn't pose him without this, but it's really lame that he's now stuck with it in his hand, at least for the time being. Maybe I'll figure a way to get it out of there eventually. Just a warning, if you do pick this guy up, don't force the staff into his hand. You're most likely to break it, bend it like this one is. Actually, this one was broken up here when I tried to put it in his hand as well. And just drill out the inside of his hand. You're better off for it. The staff itself is pretty nice. I mean, this part's just a bland black plastic, but kind of like a leopard print wrap on parts of the handle. He has kind of the trophy at the top with his wrist blades coming out of it. One big complaint I have are these little dangly bits. I know they're movie accurate. I know they look kind of cool when it's posed, but they get tangled up so often. They're just a pain. I probably spend more time untangling them than doing anything else with this figure. So once he goes up on the shelf, it should be good, but right now it's a bit of a nuisance. Once again, we have another unmasked Predator, and I'm pretty sure this is the same head sculpt we got for the City Hunter. Still well executed. The paint on it's kind of cool. They added enough brownish to the whole thing to make it not look like he's a cow. He's got really nice long dreadlocks, which is, I guess, where he gets the hippie name. Not as much jewelry on them either. And he also has some short ones up here towards the front, which is a nice little touch. You turn him around, he has the one bit of jewelry that catches a couple strands together. Just kind of similar to something the Elder has, and I like it. He's got his armor, his shoulder piece here, which is big and chunky. Once again, no plasma caster on this guy. He has a different kind of frill around his neck, which is unusual. It comes down, it looks like he has little bits of trophies in it and stuff. All a nice rubber piece. And then he has his very not easy to see shoulder pad up here. His wrist gauntlets are very utilitarian looking. They look just like a leather wrap around his hand. Very similar hand to other Predators. This one's kind of closed off, so he could hold the staff with two hands if he wanted. I'm intrigued that they made the netting on him brown. It's a cool choice. It changes the color of him, but it's just an interesting decision. I wasn't expecting to see it. Down here we have his belt, along with his extra bags and stuff. You can see he has the disc holder down here, but it's actually covered up by his other things, which I think is a nice detail touch. Got a pouch. Pouch over here. Now, even though this one has covering over his butt, he still does have the rubber butt in there. So, no articulation loss there, I don't think. Legs are standard fare. He's got his knee pads, his shin guards. Once again, on this guy, no net launcher. And his bare feet. If you're following along with these Predators at home, the articulation is the same as the other two. He's got his ball-jointed head, pin socket shoulders, bend and rotate at the arm, ball-jointed hand, ball-jointed waist, pin socket legs, rotate the upper leg, bend the knee at 2 points, and ball-jointed foot. Going back, I think the big thing to remember when getting this Predator is to drill out his hand. Don't be impatient like I was, and make sure you take the time to do it right. And I think you'll be more pleased with him than I am right now, because then you can take that stupid staff out of his hand every so often to fix it. But overall, I really like this figure, and I think he's up there with City Hunter for me. I can't decide which one of the two I like more. I like the staff. I think it gives him a cool, unique flair among other Predators. He's going to look cool in the display. But having said that, he's probably going to be in the back of the display along with the boar. Just because he's not as iconic of a Predator, and that staff is going to get in the way of everything else posing-wise. So might as well put it in the back where he's going to do the least damage. He's still really cool looking. His coloration is unique. The sculpt on him is decent. But he's not as flashy or cool as some of the other Predators, and I think that earns him a spot at the back of the stand as well. But still, I have to recommend him. I think he's cool. I think he's fun. I feel like you could skip the boar Predator just for his lack of much going on, but this guy has some more visual aspects that make him unique and cool. And in a collection that has been a lot of repaints and retools, even though this guy is a repaint and a retool, I think it still is a nice touch to have something a little bit different. So, gonna recommend this guy. So that wraps up Wave 4 of NECA's Predator series, but we've got at least 2 more waves to look forward to. Of course, also, I'm going to be back pretty darn soon, hopefully, with a review of the Toys R Us 2-pack. It's supposed to be coming out very soon, featuring the Masked City Hunter and the Cloaked Berserker Predator. But from what I've gathered on the internet, so take this with a grain of salt, Series 5 of Predators, which should be out sometime in early mid-2012, is going to be Stalker, Guardian, and Snake. Now, since NECA is on a name-changing rampage with the Lost Tribe, I'll give you that line again with the more fan-oriented names. So from what I can tell, Stalker is going to be the Predator 1 classic mask. The whole figure looks like it has a brand new paint deco outside of the mask, and it is accurate to the Lost Tribe, but that's going to be in Wave 5. Guardian is the Gort Predator. Not the Gort that was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but the same mask, once again, with the P2 body. So we're getting 2 reused head sculpts with newly painted bodies, probably these bodies once again repainted. And the Snake Predator is the one that has been known as Shadow. I think Hot Toys recently released one. I'm really excited about him. I love that design with the fur and all that stuff. So really excited to see that one coming out. Excited for the whole wave. I love these Predator figures, if you can't tell. Wave 6, which I'm guessing is probably going to be about a year from now, judging by their normal release schedule, is going to be the Warrior Predator, better known as Ram, the Scout Predator, also known as Brother Boar, and the Lost Predator, also known as Borg. Now, Borg is one that I am so psyched to get. I love his armor, too. And Warrior and Scout look really cool. I'm sorry, Ram and Brother Boar look really cool. Ram has a really cool blue coloration, which I think is going to look awesome on display. So I'm really excited about him. There are prototype pictures of these out online, so if you want to take a look, they're available if you can hunt them down. But I gotta make the comment, I don't understand why NECA had to change these names. The only one I know they needed to change was Borg, because I'm assuming Borg is copywritten by the Star Trek people. Stalker, I mean, you gotta come up with some name for that thing. I think most people have just called it Classic, and we've got Classic out the ears with Predators here. Gort, they didn't have a problem putting Gort on the San Diego Comic-Con package, so I don't know why you can't just call it that. And stuff like Shadow, Ram, and Brother Boar, I don't get why they can't use those names. But for whatever reason, they chose not to. We got these names. But I just wanted to give fans a heads up on that from what I've been able to put together. So when you hear these ones are coming, you can at least associate them with what you know. So thank you for joining me for this wave of Predators. There's plenty more reviews to come, so stay tuned.